Tony Dixon from Airliner World magazine. Going on about what you've just been saying and the advent of things like iPads and personal entertainment systems, is there not a case to say, don't you guys do much about new systems, i.e. screens and stuff, but do more on the provision of letting people use their own systems on the aeroplanes?
I can speak to some of that, Ewan. I mean, I think that's the one area that wasn't tapped here. How do you give people more ability to use their own devices? Not trying to make a pitch for the products that are on our stand, but we have some devices where we've integrated some iPads into the backs of seats, and we're actually getting a great many requests on that right now, particularly from airlines, low-cost carriers, people that want to offer the passenger a level of experience without the cost and complexity of embedded systems. So it is an untapped area. We're getting a lot of requests in that regard. I think we will see more as time goes on. That's one of the challenges of the industry in terms of the level of technology change that you have in the IFE arena. Most IFE systems, from my perspective, generally don't last more than 3 years before there's some kind of technology change. And most products in the cabin have a tendency to be in service for much longer than that. So it's a big challenge. And I think personal devices, giving people more access and use of those personal devices in the cabins, are a great way to combat that.
May I offer a perspective? I totally agree with this is baseline. I think every carrier out there wants to serve their passengers by providing the communication that is affordable. I mean, it always seems to come down to a question of economics. Going back to Connection by Boeing, a technically successful product without a firm economic model. Lots of money into that technology, but it was ultimately abandoned. So I think the baseline for all of our systems needs to be an inclusion of feeding direct to these devices. With regard to what Tommy's saying, when you put a fiber optic system on an airplane, it lasts the life of the hull, and it doesn't need to get changed out because it has a huge bandwidth available to it. You might change some of the monitors or something over 5 or 7 or 10 years, but you don't have to change that out. So I think the OEMs, I think both Boeing and Airbus, are provisioning fiber throughout their aircraft for a variety of advantages. I mean, stuff doesn't radiate energy, it doesn't cause interference, it doesn't pick up interference from systems. So again, never to sell our own products in front of a group like this, but I would mention that fiber does have some advantages to the OEM too, I believe.